Lottie Moon's Influence on Baptist Missionary Rights and Responsibilities by Rebecca Felty. Charlotte Diggs Moon was born on December 12, 1840, in Albemarle County, Virginia. Her family possessed substantial agricultural land and enjoyed considerable wealth in the pre-Civil War South. She was the fourth of 7 siblings who reached adulthood. The wealth of the Moon family afforded all the children, including the daughters, significant educational prospects. Raised in a Christian household, she initially distanced herself from faith due to the constant disagreements over religious beliefs she observed among the adults around her. Lottie excelled in literature and languages. She learned Greek, Latin, Italian, French, and Spanish in school. By 1861, she had completed her master's degree, and well-known Baptist preacher and professor John Brodus considered her to be the best educated woman in the South. As a young scholar, she took the opportunity to skip church, play around, and often mocked her friends for their religious practices. In a bid to strengthen her critiques, she attended a revival meeting expecting to debunk the message with her logic. Instead, she found the teachings compelling and thought-provoking. This experience sparked a deep change within her, leading her to regularly participate in the meetings. Ultimately, Lottie Moon made a heartfelt decision to embrace Christianity, marking a transformative moment in her spiritual journey. In the aftermath of the Civil War, which ended in 1865, Lottie's life took a significant turn. She became a teacher and devoted herself to caring for injured soldiers during the conflict. Unfortunately, her family faced severe financial hardship due to the economic devastation in the South following the war. Lottie had deep aspirations of becoming a missionary, but as a single 25-year-old woman, she found such dreams impossible, as missionary work was largely reserved for married women accompanying their husbands. As the years progressed, during the 1870s, societal changes began to open new doors for women. While Lottie was actively involved in establishing a girls' school in Georgia, she received a letter in 1875 from her younger sister Edmonia. Her sister had successfully asked a mission group for a chance to go to China, motivated by an invitation from a couple of missionaries who were already there. Inspired by her sister's opportunity, Lottie decided to pursue her own dream of missionary work. Although she was enjoying her role at the girls' school, thoughts of China lingered in her mind. Not long after, Lottie felt called to China, as clear as a bell, in February 1873 after the Cartersville pastor preached about missions. Later that year, the Foreign Mission Board appointed Lottie as a missionary to China. She was 32 years old. In those days, foreign missionary work was generally for life. There were no regular furloughs or retirement. On the way, Lottie wrote letters to the church explaining why she was going to China. She also signed a contract stating that she was committed to staying in China until a total breakdown of health or death. Lottie set off for China on September 1, 1873. Despite encountering numerous challenges along the way, she eventually arrived in the northern province of Shandong, which is known as the birthplace and final resting place of Confucius, one of China's most important religious and philosophical figures. She chose the city of Tangshan, now called Penglai, as her home for the remainder of her life. She started studying the language, and since she picked things up quickly, she adopted the average Chinese clothing and dove into the history and traditions of China. In a region that was heavily populated but had little interaction with the outside world, a significant change was about to unfold. 13 years prior, Landrum and Sally Holmes had started their Southern Baptist mission in Shandong. Tragically, Landrum lost his life while trying to defend the local people from attacking rebels. His sacrifice was not in vain. It opened the hearts of many to the gospel. Sally Holmes continued her mission in Shandong as a single missionary. She and Martha Crawford welcomed Lottie, who was 33 years old, into their missionary group. However, Lottie's arrival was met with skepticism from the Chinese locals, who referred to her and the others as foreign devils. Once Lottie learned enough of the language, she boldly responded, "If I'm a devil, then what are you? We all come from the same ancestor. The locals teased her, questioning if she was a man. When she clarified that she wasn't, they asked why she wasn't married. Lottie humorously replied, "Mother-in-laws are too difficult to deal with. I'm worried they might beat me." This response always lightened the mood and brought laughter among them. Lottie initially focused on learning Chinese and then took a job teaching at a girls' school. However, she felt restless teaching just a handful of girls while countless women and children around her had never been exposed to the gospel. Her true purpose became clear when Sally Holmes invited her on what seemed like a simple country picnic but was actually an evangelistic mission to nearby villages to spread the gospel. Lottie expressed her feelings, saying, "The needs of these people weigh heavily on my heart, and I cannot remain silent. It pains me to think of these souls facing death without ever having the chance to hear Jesus' name." Being a single woman on the mission field in the 1880s was incredibly challenging. When asked if she ever experienced love, she replied, "Yes, but God had the first claim on my life, and since the two were at odds, the choice was clear." Despite her strong convictions, she still faced the reality of loneliness. Lottie later reflected, "I hope no missionary will ever feel as lonely as I have." Moon believed that missionaries held significant responsibilities, one of which was to live among the people they served. She immersed herself in Chinese culture, learning the language and customs, which allowed her to communicate effectively and build strong relationships. Lottie argued that a missionary's lifestyle should reflect genuine love and respect for the local culture rather than imposing foreign ideals. This perspective greatly influenced Baptist views on cultural sensitivity in missions. Lottie often wrote about the amazing progress of the gospel, particularly in rural areas where it was growing strong. However, new believers faced intense backlash and violence from their families, who were angry that they had turned away from their ancestors' beliefs. During the Boxer Rebellion in China, Lottie and many other missionaries had to flee to Japan until things got better in China. When Lottie was in her 60s, China was struck hard by famine and disease. She never turned away anyone who was hungry and often shared her own meals with those in need. Eventually, her fellow missionaries became concerned about her frail appearance and declining health, insisting that she return home. Tragically, she passed away on the boat journey back, and churches across the United States came together to honor her life. The Southern Baptist churches chose to name their annual Christmas offering after Lottie Moon to help fund missions worldwide. Lottie's advocacy for female missionaries deserves special emphasis within the context of her time. Women's roles in missions were frequently seen as less important, and their opportunities for leadership and service were often limited. However, Moon's remarkable success and unwavering dedication became a powerful testament to women's capacity to not only lead, but excel in ministry. By establishing vital support systems for female missionaries, she empowered more Baptist women to embrace the responsibilities of missionary work, expanding both the reach of the mission field and the recognition of women's essential contributions within it. This shift represented a significant step towards acknowledging the rights and responsibilities of women in religious service. Thank you for joining me in Lottie Moon's remarkable journey.